Today, we're gonna look at two games that have really taken the horror genre to a new place, to more of a maze-like gameplay. So, with each of these games, we've seen a bit of evolution. From Lethal Company bringing this new style into the light, all the way to R.E.P.O, I almost want to say perfecting it. But we need to look at every step of the way. So, in this video, let us look at every one of these games, all three of them, even content warning, which barely even counts. We're going to look at all three of these games, what they did well, what they did poorly, and what they mean for the horror genre as a whole. So, with that, let's dive right in. So, of course, we should start with the OG, the first one to come out, and in my opinion, my personal favorite. I come here with 170 hours on the game. This is Lethal Company. This game took the media by storm when it came out. It was a near instant success, selling, I'm pretty sure, over 1 million copies now, if I am correct. Although I have not fact-checked that. But it has, in fact, brought a new style of horror game into the light. This kind, very reminiscent of SCP games, where you have these different entities, each of which have their own counter and their own set of skills you need to deal with them. It is a very cool gameplay style and what kept the game fresh for so long, even if it is in fact dying off as we speak. I believe there's not much critique in this game, other than the fact that most of the items are useless, but that is bound to happen when you have any more than 3 items in a game. I believe that Lethal Company was really good at capturing the overall vibe that this kind of game is supposed to give off. The places feel claustrophobic or oddly spacious. They feel uncanny and all too silent. See, this game did something else. It brought proximity chat into the mix. And while games such as Phasmophobia had been doing that for a while now, it really brought it to a whole new level whenever you're trapped in the corridors of the facility, waiting to hear the voice of one of your crewmates, just for it to never come, only the sound of a snapping neck. That right there is peak horror game gameplay. That's why I have over 170 hours on it, especially after Zeekers decided to add public lobbies, adding a new way for people like me who don't have friends that play games with me all the time. It really brought a way for us to play the game in that same claustrophobic, very dark horror environment. But playing solo also brung its own set of challenges. And honestly, I feel that is where Lethal Company struggles the most. It's not very balanced for anybody but a 4-player crew. Nothing more, nothing less. The single-player experience, while it's playable, it's very unfair to the person playing. And if you use mods or anything to increase the player cap, it just ends up becoming a chaotic nightmare. But with that, we move on to the awkward middle child of this type of game. And there were a lot between R.E.P.O and Lethal Company. There are a lot of other games in this style. But Content Warning was very odd. It decided to take the idea of gathering things and throw it out, which was creative, I have to give them that. It didn't work out very well in their favor. This game is the most unwieldy of the 3. It is the worst playing experience of the 3. Probably the reason over, I think, the year I've owned this game, I've only ever gotten 15 hours in. because the game, while it's fun to play, especially with friends, there's really no aspect of the game that makes it fun. Let me explain. In some games, the fun comes from the game. That's what you're supposed to do as a game developer. You're supposed to make the game itself enjoyable. You want it to capture people's attention. Lethal Company and R.E.P.O both do that perfectly. But the problem is that content warning is such a boring game by itself. I've ran through it solo a good amount of times, but it really pains me to say I don't really love the gameplay. I mean, the whole game consists of waiting around for monsters to then record the monsters. And I mean, to be fair, this was all done solo, and just like Lethal Company, this game isn't designed to be solo. But unlike Lethal Company, I feel the solo option in content warning almost feels unplayable, because it's just so utterly boring. I mean, the entirety of the gameplay just consists of you sitting in the bell, waiting for some monsters to wander by to catch a quick recording of them. It's really not the best game. But, nevertheless, whenever you get a team of 2, 3, even better 4, you can end up with these very special moments. And the one thing I really have to give to content warning is the fact that the video system, whenever it's used less seriously and more just to have fun with your friends, it becomes so amazing. I mean, it's buggy. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, it's not the greatest experience. But every time that you and your 3 other friends sit down at the end of the day to watch the disc that you recovered and watch the absolute gem that you guys have all created, it really smooths over a lot of the problems with the game, although those problems are definitely still there. So, that is not all I have to say about content warning, but for time's sake, let's move on to R.E.P.O. Now, I've only played 12 hours of R.E.P.O, but then again, I only got the game 2 days ago. So, that's also saying something. R.E.P.O has been enjoyable all of the 12.6 hours I've played it. It's been really fun, whether I be solo, with a public lobby, or with my own friends. It is really one of the best experiences I've had since maybe the first time I played Lethal Company with all of my friends together. I cannot stop praising R.E.P.O. It is such an amazing game, and I believe it is learned what needs to be learned from both Lethal Company and content warning, really taking a look at what both of those games did, combining the good things from content warning, being the general aspect of being together with your friends, having a blast doing the sillies, especially encapsulated by the King of the Losers ceremony at the end of the game. That really takes that same content warning vibe, but then they take all of the good things about the Lethal Company gameplay. Its claustrophobic feeling, its random generation, its creatures are more intense, and it really makes simply a better game. And honestly, I would say it's not just better than the two combined, it far exceeds that. Whether it's the cute animations you get on loading screens, or it's the absolutely amazing synergies, or even just the experience you have playing it, even if it is over and over and over again. I really think R.E.P.O finally got this formula down. And there's still more of R.E.P.O to come. I know currently there's a beta out. I have played nothing but the beta since I learned how to get into it. And it's really been a great experience, and you should honestly try it out for yourself. But there are critiques I still have to give it. Now, the unruly controls from content warning were one of the big things I didn't like about it. But in R.E.P.O, it really seems they turned that con into a pro very well. They make it feel unwieldy, but at the same time, make it feel perfectly unwieldy. And it's hard to explain without playing it yourself, but honestly, that's honestly just what you should do. Go play it yourself. The one thing I do have to say about R.E.P.O, though, is that most of the enemies can be countered by simply hiding. If you see Lethal Company or Content Warning, both of these games provide ways to deal with the monsters that aren't just run under a table. I mean, a couple of them are hiding based, but I feel like R.E.P.O really takes a phasmophobia kind of approach when it comes to the hiding aspect of things. And I really don't love it, especially when there are a couple of monsters that the only way to counter them is hiding, but they can counter you hiding, such as with the robe. It's really not the greatest balance. I feel like every single monster should be dealt with if you are educated enough, and I feel like, especially the robe and the headman, it really isn't a great experience when you meet up with them, because the only way you deal with both of them is by simply going under a table, but both of them have attacks that allow them to go under the table, and they're both supposed to have other counters, but those counters always seem to be bugged in some way, but that might be something completely separate that the people over at R.E.P.O are actually working on. I do not know. But overall, it is a great game. And while I hate to say it, I do feel like this is going to replace Lethal Company in my recently played roster. So, with that, I do hope you enjoyed... Wait a second. I got you with that one, didn't I? We now have to take all three and compare them, because honestly, it's a hard thing to do. This trifecta of games isn't the best. I'm just gonna say it. Not one of these games can be played without missing something from one of the others, whether it's be playing Lethal Company and missing the cool highlight reel you get from Content Warning, whether it be playing R.E.P.O and missing the easy counters from Lethal Company, or playing Lethal Company and missing the easy hiding mechanics from R.E.P.O. Because honestly, I don't think these three games can be compared that simply. I almost want to say these shouldn't be separate games at all. Now wait, that's kind of weird, now isn't it? They are separate games. But honestly, I don't think they should really be viewed that way. I mean, if you have indeed played Lethal Company or R.E.P.O, I'll give you a break on Content Warning. But typically, if you've played one, you've played the other, especially if you played Lethal Company about a year ago when it came out, and you could go along, play it, but then it gets boring. So you've probably played R.E.P.O because it's just so similar and so much better. But if I can say with confidence that if you played Lethal Company, you're gonna like R.E.P.O, or if you played Lethal Company, you probably want to play R.E.P.O or played R.E.P.O or have it on your wish list or whatever, then should they really even be deemed separate games at all? Couldn't we even call R.E.P.O a accidental successor to Lethal Company? It's definitely one of the biggest questions we can ask, but there's really no answer I can give you. So, this has been Wonder and Wisdom here on Chaos Co. I thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys down in the comment section.